Hey guys, welcome to the third tutorial on Google Sheets. In this tutorial we're going to get stuck into the spreadsheet and understand how cells work in a spreadsheet. And this is very important and it forms the backbone of all spreadsheeting formulas and functions. So you can see here that this is the spreadsheet that we opened in the previous tutorial. And you can see on the page here that there are many cells. They go across to the right and they go down. The cells, you can see which ones I'm clicking on because they are outlined by this blue outline here. And this is very important. Every cell on a spreadsheet is uniquely identified by its coordinates. So for example, if I click, say, here, the cell that I've highlighted here is cell C6. If I click here, the cell is A3. And in each cell, we can apply any type of data we want, really. We could say, okay, cell A1, let's type in Owen. So you're going to take on the text value Owen, O-W-E-N. But that doesn't really tell us anything interesting. It won't allow us to do too many calculations. After all, most people use spreadsheets to do calculations. So let's say, okay, cell B1, you can take on the value of 1. What we've said here is the value that you're taking on is 1. And you can see what value it is by looking up in this little window here where it says the formula or the function in this cell is 1. So it's not much of a formula, it's more just a piece of raw data. But what we can do in spreadsheeting, and this is what gives its power over, say, a calculator where you have to crunch each individual number. We can use any other cell in the spreadsheet to identify or pull data from another cell. So it has a relationship with another cell. And what I mean is this. Let's say we highlight this cell, and I just left-clicked on it. This cell is B2. I'm going to say, hey, B2, you're going to equal the value that's in B1, which is this value above it. Now, ordinarily I could just type in the value 1. But what if I didn't want to type it in because I already have it in B1? I can just type in the coordinates. So in this case, I've said, okay, cell B2, you're going to equal, and I just use the keyboard there to press equals, you're going to equal what's in B1. Now just press enter, and you'll see it says 1. Now what's cool about spreadsheeting is if I put in the value 2, and this is I've just left clicked and type in the value 2 and press enter, you'll see that the value in cell B2 has also changed to 2. That's because, and you can see it up in this little formula window, what's happened is the value has changed, but the reference, the relationship hasn't. So it's still saying B2, which is here, B2, is equal to the value that's in B1. And I can put in any type of stuff. I could just put in random gibberish from the keyboard and press enter. And you'll see it also appears there. All it does is it's just saying, whatever you're equaling B1, I'm going to equal B2. And to get rid of the data, what we can do is we can backspace. And you'll see how that's also disappeared. What I did is I backspaced this cell, which is B1. I didn't backspace B2. So if I was to then put more data in just by left-clicking and then putting in some numbers, you'll see it also appears in B2 because I didn't clear the formula. To clear the formula, what I do is I click on the cell and I just press backspace. And notice now it's gone. That means if I put any type of other data in here, it won't appear because I've cleared the formula. And to clear any formula, we can just backspace. And it doesn't have to be in any type of order either. I should say, if I have cell, say, let's randomly click this one, E5, let's say I'm going to put the value in. I just left click and then I type in a value. Let's say that's going to equal Owen. I could then click another cell and I'll just pick this one, which is B11. I can say, okay, B11, you're going to equal, and I just typed in the equals there with the keyboard, and I'm going to say you're going to equal with that cell, whatever that cell equals. And notice how I clicked. I didn't type in E5, I clicked. Let's go back and do that again. So I'm going to say, okay, cell B11, you're going to equal, and I've used the keyboard, But notice how I haven't typed, I've just clicked. In this case, I've clicked the cell that I wanted to reference. You're going to equal that cell there, which is, you can see it up in the formula window, E5. Enter. So you can see that by this formula here, is equal to the value that's in E5. So let's just change this again. I'll change that to O5. And you can see it's changed. Now we can create any type of web here. We can go, okay, let's click on this cell, cell C3. You're going to equal the value that's in B11. Now, I'll go back to typing it in, so just so you can see that it still equals the same thing, B11. And you can see this value equals the value that's in here, equals the value that's in here. So if we change this to John, you'll see they all change to John. And to get rid of the formula, I can just press backspace. And you'll see they all disappear because they're all referencing this one cell. But you can see if I click on the cell here, which is C3, you can see the formula is still there. So to get rid of that, I'll have to backspace it by left-clicking on it, backspacing it. And where was the B11? This one, backspace, and it's gone. So that's the power of cells. In the next tutorial, we'll discuss how you can start adding some cool features like adding numbers up, subtracting, all those types of things. In the meantime, have a play around, and I'll see you then.